Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight at our town hall meeting. I am so excited that you are here joining us to talk about such an important topic in education right now. Dyslexia is something I'm passionate about as a first grade teacher. My name is Stephanie Jones. I have been teaching first grade for 23 years in the Mobile County Public School System. I have spent all of my years as a first grade teacher, and I am so excited that you are here and that I can share some different speakers, some guest speakers with you tonight. And I just want to thank you for all that you do in our community, taking time out of your busy schedule to come and to learn more about this topic. You've probably seen the flyers around town, maybe have heard the news on the radio and the local Mobile County Public School System TV to find out more about this event. And I just want to take a moment to just give my sincere thanks for you being here tonight. Well, our purpose of our meeting tonight is to just share with you about dyslexia and what our panel guest and our guest speaker will share tonight about what they also know about what's going on in the Mobile County Public Schools and what we're doing to find out more about dyslexia and what we can do to help our students in the community. I have spent many years in the classroom, and I have encountered many struggling students, and I didn't, we would reach a point where I just didn't know how else I could help them. They continued to struggle. They might have failed one of, first grade and had to repeat. And, I know parents were frustrated, and we just could not find the reason what was going on. I was not aware of dyslexia for many years. It wasn't until about 5 years ago where you started to hear more as a teacher about dyslexia. Did you know that 1 in 5 people are diagnosed with dyslexia? And 15 to 20% of our population have symptoms of dyslexia, and many people have gone undiagnosed. I know that I know there's probably many students throughout the years that have gone undiagnosed with dyslexia, especially when you think of 1 in 5 children in a classroom could have dyslexia. And many parents don't understand dyslexia, and that is why we are here tonight. I want to go over our agenda for the night so that you know what to expect. Our agenda first, we'll go over our purpose and why we're here, and then we will talk about and introduce the panel members. Our special guest speaker, Dr. Victor Gaston, will be here tonight. And I know so many in the community want to know and see him, so we will have him share tonight. We will go over any concerns that you might have, questions. You'll be able to ask questions. And at the very end, we'll have a meet and greet where you can meet and talk with the panel members. And if Dr. Gaston can stay around, you maybe can meet with him as well. And we will have refreshments. We have coffee and we have some cookies that you can stay and talk and just get to know some other people in our community. So thank you so much for coming. We'll have this town meeting will last about an hour and a half. As we're going through the night, I'm going to share with you our special guest members. So our panel member is Allison Kraft. We will hear from her. Allison Kraft is a teacher. I taught with her for several years. She has taught kindergarten and first grade. She is a wonderful teacher, and she's also a mother of a child with dyslexia. She struggled, even as a Mobile County Public School teacher, to find answers about her own child, and has, shared a lot with people about how she went through the long process of looking for help through the Mobile County Public School System, but she did run into problems and was able to finally have her child tested through a local psychologist. She was not able to get help through the special education services until she had an official diagnosis. So she's going to share that with you tonight and how she has going through services for elementary and middle school years for her child. And she now serves as a teacher at the Read Write Learning Academy here in Mobile. Our next panel guest is Gina Ward. She is a parent, someone I know personally that is very passionate about her journey with dyslexia. It started with one of her children, a little girl who started struggling with reading when she was in kindergarten and struggled all the way through second grade. She was frustrated. She reached out trying to find ways to get her child help. She attended a reading camp through Bright Beginnings, which is another academy that works with dyslexic children here in Mobile. She didn't know that her child was dyslexic, but she was able to get screened, and she was told that maybe her child had dyslexia. She went to a local psychologist as well and got the official diagnosis, and she was able to start receiving accommodations and interventions through Mobile County Public School System. But it was a long road for her. She was not tested and diagnosed until third grade. Our next panel guest is Julie Rentz. She is the founder of Read Write Learning Center, and that is in Mobile, Alabama. They are celebrating their 10th year, and she is going to share her story tonight of how she started in 2010 when she attended the International Dyslexic Conference, and that changed the way she saw students who struggled with reading. She established the Mobile Bay Area group of International Dyslexic Association, and she then started a year later Read Write Learning Center with only 12 students. So she was able to build that over the last few years. Now they're serving over 120 students right now. She has 18 highly trained teachers that work with students after school. They also have some remote learning during the day with some homeschool, and she's going to share her passion. And I just want to say welcome to our guests. Thank you for being here, and we will have several questions and they will share their story. And I would also like to introduce our guest speaker. We're so excited that we have Representative Dr. Victor Gaston with us tonight. He, of course, is a member of the Alabama House of Representatives, and he serves District 100. He has provided lots of funding for our Mobile County public school system over the years, and he also has a vested interest in our public school system. He has 3 grandchildren that attend the Mobile County public school system, and so he's very familiar with it. He also started his career as a teacher and an administrator in the Mobile County public school system. So he's here to share with us tonight. I'm so glad he was able to join us in his busy schedule. So we're so excited. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. Also, we will be talking about some of the local concerns. I know as a teacher, I have several, concerns over the years along with other people, parents. You might have concerns as well. Whenever you came in, you were given an index card. So if you have any questions for our panel guests or for the guest speaker, if you will just jot down a question, anything that you would like to know about dyslexia, and in just a few minutes, we will pose those questions to the panel. I have some questions I'm going to ask, and if we have time, we'll ask and answer some other questions. So, I just wanted to talk tonight about what is dyslexia. First of all, just getting the information out to the community. Well, dyslexia is a language-based learning disability. It affects how the brain processes language when it is heard, when it is spoken, when it is read, or when it is spelled. It affects many people, they say 15 to 20% of the population have symptoms of dyslexia. Well, what are some of those symptoms? Poor reading, poor spelling, poor writing. When you recognize some of the symptoms of when people might mix up words for each other, especially sight words, when they get things like was and saw backwards. So it also can have slow and inaccurate reading, slow readers that don't really comprehend what they're reading when they're seeing it, but they might have really good oral reading comprehension. So that is something that that sets children up for failure when they're in elementary school. There's the lack of screening. That's one of the major concerns, is that the Mobile County Public School System, we do have a screener now. You know, there's lots of things they're trying to do within the school systems, providing screeners, providing a Phonics First program, which is an Orton Gillingham based program that does help students who struggle with reading, English language learners, and it is just a systematic spelling. It really helps those students who struggle with reading, and it's what most dyslexic programs such as Read Write and Bright Beginnings use, this Orton Gillingham based. So Mobile County does use Phonics First, but the screeners, I don't think they always catch. They're not able to catch who might be have these symptoms. We have to go through the different screeners outside of the school system with local psychologists to get a diagnosis. So we have lots of questions for our panel members tonight. One of our questions is, how is dyslexia diagnosed? That's a great question. Dyslexia is diagnosed by a local psychologist. Just reach out to your child's pediatrician to find out more information. My second question is, do they qualify for special education services? Yes, they do qualify for special education services. Once you get the official diagnosis, you can bring it to the school and find out more information. Another question I have is dyslexia hereditary? Does it run in families? Yes, there is a genetic component to dyslexia. Parents can pass on the condition that affects the area of the brain that is responsible for learning how to read. My next question is, are there different types of dyslexia? There is a continuum that ranges from mild to severe forms of dyslexia, but there are no actual subtypes of dyslexia. And my last question is, can you grow out of dyslexia? There's actually not a cure for dyslexia, but children and adults can overcome symptoms of dyslexia by repeated practice and systematic phonics instruction. They can learn strategies that will help them overcome dyslexia. Now we are going to take a look at some of the concerns that parents and teachers and administrators and some of our community members might have when it comes to the topic of dyslexia. I know that personally for me, I think the lack of screening is a major concern. Whenever some of the children that teachers will find symptoms of, they're not able to get recognized through the screening process, and the parents are left to go to outside services to find ways to get their child diagnosed, and then finally they can be recognized through the school system and to being able to get interventions and accommodations for their child. And some of the other issues would be lack of funding. I would love to see more funding into the schools for a reading program such as Letters to add on with Phonics First. And I know now many teachers are able to sign up for the Letters program, but it's not being given to everyone at this time. And I really feel that funding could go to use to providing that and having all teachers trained in the Letters program. Also, the lack of funding for training. I think we need more funds to have every teacher go back for more additional training. You know, we've had a little bit of training, but having more training in order to find those students and help them so that they are not set up for failure from the very beginning. Also, you know, parents, they're just so uninformed when it comes to dyslexia. I feel like parents feel like dyslexia is a bad word. You know, they don't want their child to be diagnosed and think something is wrong with them, when it's just a learning disability that, even though it cannot be cured, it is something that they can overcome. They can to learn strategies and make them become a better reader and not struggle with reading so much. I also want to, to make things more equitable. Many parents cannot afford these extra services to go out of the Mobile County Public School System. They don't have the transportation to take them to the extra services like Bright Beginnings or the Read Write Learning Center. They don't have the money to pay for the extra help and the extra tutoring. So I really feel like Mobile County Public Schools, we should be able to offer more of that, and I would love to see more funding brought into the school system. Through the state of Alabama, Alabama or through the federal government. So I think that these are great ways that we can reach out and make things better in our community. And I am so thankful that you have been here. I hope that if you have any other questions, stay and talk to our panel guests and Dr. Victor Gaston. I'm sure they would love to talk with you. Just thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Have a great night and be safe.